Yo, what's good? It's Skano. You got some people on social media who let this social media stuff get to their head and, make them jump off their body. And we have a situation that occurred in Las Vegas with two YouTubers. I'm pretty sure y'all probably done heard about this by now. This Mexican dude, Manny, and got a brother named Finney the Legend, and they had some ongoing thing, man. Now, this is people making this out like it's strictly a YouTube beef, but apparently they had some type of run-in in the past where I think this Manny dude pepper sprayed, Finney's wife or something like that, man. Some goofy shit. And I think this whole situation is goofy. But you got a lot of goofies on social media, man. People who wear, they wear these masks. People like Seti Nash, who perpetrate, and the trend now is, you got, just regular civilian people perpetrating like they gangsters, and running with it because who can really, like people from your city may know, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, all that to say that apparently this dude, man, he has some following, man. Uh, he had a fan base of like 40,000 people or so. Dude was doing his thing, and he did have a lot of haters. And this dude Finney, for some reason, I don't know. I know why. It was the clout chase. People gassing him up to attack dude, and that's where, from what I understand, Finney the Legend got his claim to fame because prior to this beef, his social media, motion was not popping like that, from what I understand. And people gassing him up, people that was hating on this dude Manny. Now, whatever situation Manny had, like I don't know, I don't really care about all that. What I do know is, Finney took it upon himself to start trolling this dude like relentlessly. His wife, his family, nothing is off limits nowadays, especially when you can do it from the comfort of a laptop, a cell phone, whatever. Woo woo. So, just doing the most, man. Both of them going back and forth on some petty shit. And at some point, once family get involved, people respond to you. Like I said before, man, a lot of people saying he went overboard. He must have mental issues and this, that, and the other. But like I said, once you put certain things out there, you can't control how people respond to that. So whether he was over the top or, and listen, hindsight is 2020. So at some point, obviously this dude Manny made up his mind that he was gonna have to tighten, Finney up. So Finney happened to be in Vegas with his wife, and just happened to be. So you in his city still. And see, this is what I mean about people get on social media and they let this shit get to their head. They get a little clout, they get some attention, some money, and all of a sudden people start transforming, into, actors and, but why are entertaining people and them very people that's gassing you up, you know what I'm saying? Even maybe donating, sending money to your channel. At the end of the day, they not gonna be the ones, they not gonna be no bulletproof vest for you. So anyway, this dude, man, he show up, because dude is still on. He's trolling him while he about to get stepped on. This is just the goofiest shit, man. So you got to do this dude, Finney, in my opinion, he's a straight goofy. Um, I don't give a damn about the racial dynamics in this shit. Real is real. This dude was a goofy. Manny's a goofy too, to a certain extent. But like I said, when you start disrespecting people's family, and you don't know how people gonna react, man. People sensitive nowadays. So something that should have stayed on YouTube, because to crash out like this, do the whole goofy too. He supposed to be a member. I don't give a damn. Manny's a goofy. Finney's a goofy. But Manny's still alive. So he shows up, crash out. He so he lines up Finney and his wife, and I guess he's just gonna go do the time, because they caught up with him. He's claiming self-defense. I don't know how the hell he think, but obviously the dude ain't all that put together, so mentally. So it is what it is. But the problem is people get on social media, and it's like a pseudo reality. And like I said, people let this shit go to their head. You forget who you really are, doing all this goofy shit for clout, and you trick yourself, out of your life. Both of them. But like I said, Manny's still breathing. Two people dead, two families destroyed over some YouTube shit. People just sensitive, and these ain't no young guys. This just exposed how goofy and how sensitive a lot of men are out here, man. I don't even care the age range, because moving on. Now, speaking of race relations, I've rarely even touch on this subject. Like, I don't jump up here attacking, I haven't said much about Latinos. But if we being real, since, it's this talk of black and brown unity, y'all do know that the Latinos more so identify with Europeans than they ever will with blacks. And the reason why I can't respect y'all movement, and like I said, I don't hate Latinos, or, you know what I'm saying? I deal with any adversary or, any perceived threat on a case by case, But like I said, we keep it real over here. They more so identify, not more so. They all the way identify with, white ideology for the most part. Now, I can't broad stripe their whole community. But if we're talking about the people they have in leadership, that matters. Not so much as members. You do know that they are aligned, not just aligned, they have they are affiliated with the Proud Boys. One of they have the ex-leader, Enrique Tarrio. He was one of the people that was convicted in that January 6th insurrection at the White House. Nick Fuentes, Proud Boy. So, Mauricio Garcia, the shooter at Allen, Texas, at that mall, who mainly targeted Asians and some Latinos, a Proud Boy, Mexican Americans. So let's not play no games, man. I have nothing, to gain by coming on here trying to trash Latinos. But like I said, we keep it real over here. And I have personal experience with Latinos, man. Not just as far as, I'm talking just in general society. I've lived in other states. In Charlotte, North Carolina in particular, like I said before, they have an entire sector of the city, and I didn't, I was unaware of that. But anywhere, I lived there briefly in this community, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, I had no issues as far as aggression, you know, but I liken it to because my late wife, rest in peace, she used to like to go to the white part of the west side of Cleveland to do grocery shopping. She said they got the best food and better prices, which was true. And the energy, you could definitely feel it. When the energy of what are y'all doing here? Even though nobody dare, jump out their body, but same type of energy in this Mexican sector. Like I said, you get some people that's cool, but for the most part, it was like, once they realized I wasn't Latino, because you can't really tell, right? So, nah. But I have no hatred. But I'm not a fool. And this is why I can't respect y'all movement. Y'all bootlicking, kissing ass, trying to cozy up. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, assimilate to whiteness. And let's not forget how Latinos were targeted in this country too by white supremacists and racist cops. Y'all been through a little hell too yourself, but y'all still trying to cozy up to. And that's why I cannot respect it. Y'all got similar ideology, and I pointed that out with the little, it's. Yeah, I know it's complicated, right? These things always are, but it's really simple. So, it is what it is, man. No ops left, Scano. You already know.